G'day all, Kaiwala here. Today I'm going to be showing you 2 tricks for the price of 1. The first trick that I'm going to be showing you is what we like to call Sawblade hopping. You can do this on any saw rail, and all it takes is just walking into it and jumping along. A useful example of this could be, for example, going to grab that coin. You can just do 2 quick hops there, and it's the quickest way to go and collect this coin. And then you do 2 hops to either here, or if you want to do the checkpoint skip, you can instead come here and do it like that. Now the second technique that I want to show you is called Sawblade cancelling. Normally when you grab this saw, you go all the way around and then it refreshes your Sawblade by pushing you through a second power-up. However, we can actually bypass this. What you want to do is grab the Sawblade and wait for when the timer goes from 3 to 2. Holding space, that should be the perfect amount of time to get you to here, but not push you into that corner. If you time it a bit too late, then you'll end up flying this way and grab the Sawblade and you won't get the skip. And if you time it too early, you won't slow down on this corner and you will just fly off to your death. Now this trick is useful because 1, it skips the checkpoint, and 2, it lets you grab the Sawblade and just make your way up here, which saves a lot of time. Another Sawblade trick that I can show you is the one for this wall here. Now, normally when you take this saw rail, you get slammed into pieces. And what you're meant to do is grab this button, then grab the Sawblade, and while that gap is open, then you go through. However, if you face backwards when going through the wall, you won't actually die. Now the way these saw blades work is that they are actually just a series of nodes. Yes, you are supposed to grab the first and it will send you around, but there's no reason that you can't just grab the second one, or even just skip straight to the 3rd, 4th or 5th. This is used in a couple of places to save a little bit of time. For example, you can just jump the corner like that. You can even just walk straight forwards here and grab that corner instead. However, other than the invisible nodes, Sawblade rails are just parts, so there's no reason why you can't just clip on them. And while I'm talking about cutting room floor, you can just kind of skip most of these jumps. Like that. One example of a Sawblade rail that makes it annoying to clip is actually this one. Because you're trying to clip off of the brown wall rather than the Sawblade rail, but sometimes you'll clip on the Sawblade rail, and since it's not a part of this wall, as you can see there, it means that if you end up clipping on the Sawblade rail, you don't go far enough into the wall. It's actually been years since I've seen this Sawblade in person. Back in the day, we used to skip the Sawblade entirely by just jumping over this gap. Of course, that doesn't really work anymore because it kills you consistently, but sometimes you can get a high jump that skips it anyways. So if you aren't doing the most optimal route for either glitch or glitchless, and you do come this way, just skip the Sawblade, to be honest. These Sawblades in World 9 are pretty straightforward, just use them normally. For this part of World 9, it's usually easier to just jump this gap, and that gives you plenty of time to use the Sawblade there. But for this entire section, both glitch and glitchless just kind of skips it by walking on the outside of it like that. We sort of just make our way around. And this is not a glitchless strat, but you can just dance clip through that wall there. Unfortunately, some Sawblade rails can't be jumped on. For example, the ones in World 10. If you want to make your way across them, you're going to have to wall hop. Like so. Probably one of the simplest techs that you can remember is grab this Sawblade, head over here, and then wait until the timer is nearly done, and it should drop you off there. Too late, and you'll fling off that way. Too early, and you will sort of hit this wall and then bounce back at high speed and then die on that wall. So you got to time it kind of well. If you do fail that jump, however, again, you can just back up strats, 2 wall hops, and you're across. This isn't necessarily a Sawblade strat, but what you can do is you can grab this saw, jump up to grab this coin, and then cut that corner without having to redo that whole section. And this does actually give you enough time to maintain the Sawblade to grab that coin there. Also, can I just mention, I like how they made the Sawblade rails and Clockwork Relic stick out, and then they put this pillar here to stop you from jumping around them. This isn't a Sawblade strat, but you can just walk through this door in Eerie Estate. Now, in the attic of Eerie Estate, they actually have special Sawblade rails that you can stand on until you can't. So this is probably the one time where they've ever bug fixed saws in the history of the game. So you have to do that. But then they didn't do it here? What? Huh? I don't know. That doesn't even come up anyways, because you just grab that coin and then jump, so. This whole section of Treacherous Toybox takes a little bit of time to do, and to be honest, we don't know any skips for it yet. But if anybody figured out a way to jump this gap without using a Sawblade, we wouldn't even have to go over there at all. So if anybody finds that, please let me know. This Sawblade rail and Alpha Base can be pretty much ignored entirely. You just grab that coin and then you jump the corner. There's no reason why you should ever use the Sawblade there. This coin in Lavender Heights is usually required to get by dropping down from the area above, but what you can do is you can just kind of climb up this anyways, and that saves you time having to come back and grab the Sawblade a second time round. Just make sure you don't do that. Anyways, that's all the Sawblades I could find in AF2. Have a good day.